The Office of the Inspector General is looking at your medical billing, especially for your Medicare Advantage plans. So here are some things that you can do to prepare for the future. Medical billing is under siege, and you need to be aware of the things that are happening. I had the opportunity to listen to Inspector General Christy Grimm at a recent healthcare conference. If you don't know about the Office of Inspector General, this is an office that has been created under the Obamacare that allows for the government to understand what's happening with medical billing. They look at things like analyzing what your billing is doing, how it should be enforced, understanding if there's any anomalies with your medical billing. And so they work hand in hand with your healthcare plans to ensure that medical billing is absolutely billed correctly. They made some big announcements at this recent healthcare conference where a lot of healthcare plans were in attendance. And one of the things they're seeing is a rise in fraud when it comes to Medicare Advantage. If you have a ton of Medicare Advantage patients as a medical practice, you're going to see a lot of your health plans do more analysis of how you're billing for your patient populations, especially in the Medicare Advantage plans, because unfortunately, there have been bad actors. What's happening is a lot of the fraud that's what's in Medicare is starting to come to Medicare Advantage. So you see things like upcoding, where actually providers are unfortunately providing more services and then billing for the services that the patient may or may not need. You're going to see things like misdiagnoses where they're actually billing for things that they shouldn't be billing for patients that don't need those services at all. Or they're seeing things around providing more coding for something that's time-based. So for instance, if you're billing for continuous glucose monitoring or CGM, typically patients get refillable cartridges every 10 days or so. But if you decide to bill for the entire year of consumables, instead of getting something like a couple $100 every month to be reimbursed for that patient, but you're billing for the whole year of consumables, then you're going to have an issue with OIG potentially. What's happening is they're doing deep analytic work to understand what is happening with billing right now. And a lot of times this is just statistical analysis, understanding what is being kind of looked at when it comes to your medical billing. One of the things that we're seeing a lot more of is because they work in the past, I think they're around 2022, OIG is starting to see a lot of trends happening. One of the big things was around telehealth. We saw an explosion of telehealth services and CPT codes that were billable because of the pandemic. But one of the things they're understanding as the pandemic resided and the PHE, which is public health emergency, was stopped last year, then a lot of those codes are going to be more scrutinized, because typically if you were billing as a new patient for you, then that is someone that you need to make sure that you had to have seen them within the 12 months and they were existing patient of yours in order to bill telehealth correctly. If you're still billing new patients under the telehealth rules after the PHE had expired, then that is something that Medicare, Medicare Advantage, and OIG will be scrutinizing definitely. So these are some of the things that you need to be aware of as you kind of look at your medical billing. One of the things that we kind of talk to our clients as when we're looking at medical billing, we want to make sure we adhere to the highest standards of meeting what was required. Typically, there's three things you can look at when you're doing your medical billing, so you don't have to get that dreaded call for an audit by the Inspector General. Number one, you want to make sure you understand your policies and procedures. You need to understand your billing in and out. If you have a medical biller, it's important to have a third party come in and do an analysis to determine how your medical biller is doing everything that they should. There's nothing wrong with getting a second, third, or even fourth set of eyes on your processes to ensure that you're meeting all the standards. So making sure that you understand that processes and procedures that are going into your medical billing is going to be key. Number two, you want to understand exactly how the billing works. You want to have a conversation with medical billing coders. These are the individuals that look at the medical billing from the perspective of the health plan. Having a medical coder come in to just analyze how your medical health plans are looking at how you bill is really important. Right now, you have medical billers who bill on your behalf to submit to the clearinghouse and to the medical health plans, but having a coder that can come in and do consulting would absolutely help you get a better sense of what's possible there. You want to make sure you understand what your health plans are looking for when it comes to coding. And one of the things you want to look at is having a consultant that understands medical coding. What's the difference between medical billing and medical coding? Medical biller is the one that is submitting on your behalf as a provider to the clearinghouse directly to the health plan or to Medicare and Medicaid services. Coder is the one that's accepting those claims and just analyzing to make sure they meet the requirements for everything that the health plan will pay for. So you want to have a medical coder come in and do analysis so you get a better understanding of how your health plans are looking at what you submit. And that would avoid any issues if, for instance, a audit comes your way. You want to make sure you have that person that can come in and look at that from a medical coding standpoint. Third but not least, you need to be checking at least quarterly, if not once, twice a year. If you can do quarterly, that's ultimately to kind of bring in these experts to do your medical billing checks as well as bringing a medical coder. But if you can't do it quarterly, once or twice a year is acceptable. And that's really what you want to do just to make sure your policies are in place, making sure your team is creating the right note structure, making sure that you understand there's any abnormal things that will pop up that may come on the radar for OIG. The key there is not so much that you overly check, but the key is you want to be prepared so in case some statistical anomaly comes up and your name gets pulled, you are ready for that audit and you can answer any questions that they have. So it's really important that you do these checks quarterly, or if you can't do it quarterly, at least twice a year, every 6 months, to ensure that you meet the standards and making sure your people are following these high standards. So from our standpoint, you understand your own internal policies and procedures on how you code, how often you code, what you need to code for, ensure that you code correctly. That's going to be key. And bringing in that consultant to kind of understand that and getting a second, third, or even fourth eyes on it on a consistent basis will help with that. Second, you want to get a medical coder to understand what is the health plan looking at so you can be aware of things and making sure you understand the process of how they look at the coding when you submit it through your clearinghouse and through your medical biller. And then last but not least, make sure you do these checks at least at a bare minimum once or twice a year so you can get a better sense of how this is going ongoing from the standpoint of that. I can tell you from many of the clients that we work with, a lot of them do this check once or twice a year, and this gives them the peace of mind so when an audit does come up, they're better prepared. And also, we do have an option where we go in to help them with looking at their policies and procedures when it comes to medical billing. We provide that second look at your accounts receivable billing to make sure not only are you billing correctly from your policy and procedures, but are you getting the most you can from your reimbursement, right? And that's going to be key when it comes to that. So we talk about medical billing in a few other videos, so go check that down below. But this is something you really want to prepare for here in 2024 as OIG is on the lookout. And we definitely don't want you to be one of the ones that they catch. Hopefully you like this video. We want to have more content like this to give you the most impactful information to help you thrive in this new model of healthcare here in 2024. Check us out for more videos.